All right, I'm going to be honest. I have an issue, actually, more than one issue, but we need to stay focused today. Today, I want to talk about the fact that I don't like heights. I don't like to be near the edge. I don't want you to be near the edge. I don't like for people on TV to be near the edge. And for sure, I don't want one of my smelly monsters near the edge. Recently, we drove up to Benton Falls to hike, and on the way, there were a lot of beautiful scenic overlooks. Now, Lucas is learning to take some really amazing pictures with his iPhone, and therefore, every overlook was an opportunity in his eyes. Now, on one of the last overlooks, I trailed a little bit behind the group, and as I rounded the corner, climbing up to the scenic overlook, I stood stunned looking at my baby, the only one still left at home, sitting right on the edge of the wall that was precariously built on the top of a mountain. Whose idea was that? That was terrifying. Now, I didn't want to startle him, so I quietly inched closer. Now, of course, I took time out to turn and glare at my husband, who had been tasked with keeping the baby safe. Of course, unruffled by my glare, Larry casually just turned back to admire the view. And two things went through my mind at that point. Number one, I should probably stop calling Lucas the baby now that he's in 10th grade. And number two, I wasn't ever trusting Larry with the baby again. Finally, when I made it to the top of the hill and realized that from my lower perspective, Lucas looked like he was perched right on the edge of a dangerous precipice, recklessly defying my standing orders, never under any circumstance get near the edge of anything. However, from the perspective on top of the hill, I realized that the wall where Lucas was sitting was only about 3 feet high and had the ground close enough so that you could sit on the wall and touch the ground with your feet. Perspective is everything. David talks about this in the Psalms about flooding his bed with tears in the night, but that joy comes in the morning. Things seem really dreadful in the middle of the night. Normal fears and concerns and worries can become overwhelming. Now, this is that same phenomenon our kids face as they learn to endure trials. The smallest thing seems insurmountable. Remember back when they were toddlers, just having a toy stolen reduced them to a fit of anger and tears. But after they experienced that a couple of times, they learned to adapt, to cope. Some of them negotiated, some of us learned to bite or whatever to deal with those toy thieves. Our kids are going through that learning process over and over again, and their current perspective causes them to feel those intense emotions. Just like I did when I came around the corner and saw Lucas sitting on the edge. The reality that the ledge was just a few feet off the ground didn't change those intense feelings. This week in my blog, I'm going to go over a few things that will help you and your kids navigate that perception continuum and process their emotions in a healthy way.